it's right here. You can obviously take a blank and make the whole thing together. I have this is basically a blank out of, I think Tim Howell had some of that silver maple or something. It's local. It's been drying out for a couple of years. And so it was a log, and I just made just rounded it out into a simple spindle for now. I put tenons on each end. They'll fit here. And what I plan to do with this one is I'm going to make this tenon, I'll use it for a little bit, but I'm going to knock that tenon down to fit this one, to fit this clean out. It has this end is larger because it's basically 2-inch. Probably the irrigation lighter weight. I do have a couple of Schedule 40s. These come in different sizes. But the only thing you have to watch out is obviously since they're pipe threads, you'll get about 4 or 5 threads at work, and then you're done. So you have to kind of plan ahead on how many of those you can use without getting into trouble. Obviously, if you need more, just to get rid of, but you have to be careful to make this thing fit. And I'm going to turn this jam chuck down to fit this. I have some jam chucks that I had made up that have been used to cut the threads off of that I've used in this one. And I'm going to try to get the threads out of here. They should come. I don't know exactly why they, because I was getting this thing to fit just the way I wanted it last night. I don't know what happened. Shouldn't have. I'll work on that in a little bit. But anyway, that's just about the finished product. The lid obviously is oddball. If you really don't like it, right now I could put this on and reshape it some and finish it all up. If you're real careful, even with the threads glued on, you can still put it in there if you're not trying to cut heavy, but just sand and things. So you can do things without a jam chuck, but jam chucks are kind of fun. So I'm going to come back to that. I showed you the blank. I'm going to turn this one around. This one, I was planning a larger one as an urn. It looked good until it didn't. As you can see, it has quite a bit of bad news on the top, so I'll probably add a new top. Just cut that off and build a new top for it instead of try to, I don't know if I want to salvage that. There's some pretty heavy cracking on that. So, but it's not hollow, it's the whole thing. I don't know if is that a piece of walnut or is this mesquite?
It looks like walnut.
I didn't burn it too bad, so I can't, it didn't barbecue anything. I was working on this one at the other night, and I got it so far. I taped it together. These two were together all in one. It's the Russian olive, and it's not too bad. So I will work on that later, but not today. I'm gonna just knock this one out real quick since this one's been hollowed pretty much. So I'll work on that. So I guess back to some of the basics. I think I commented, you can get threads, this is like a 3-inch in a schedule 40. I don't know if you can find 80. I've looked for a little bit of 80. That's that dark gray. You know, it's
real heavy.
a prettier color. But this is a clean out. It's more probably a little lighter. Because this says Jam Chuck 2-inch clean out plug male. This is supposed to be a 2-inch clean out male. Doesn't fit. It fits the one that I did on here. So as far as having a Jam Chuck that's marked, I did put on this one over here that it happens to be from a certain brand of PVC. So that way, if you're making several, like doing any production, you could use the same Jam Chuck over and over and over without adjusting them. We have a couple.
The same brand of pipe fitting.
It seems like different ones are. If it's going to be for the outside of the pipe, like the which would be the female. For schedule 40, it's going to be one side, and if it's 2-inch irrigation line, which is a little lighter, it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a little bigger or a little smaller, but anyway, when I bought a handful of different things from 2 different stores, I thought, really, they're different. Okay, this would be a schedule 40, and it's a plug, and it. I have it marked in a place or two for, that would be how much I'm going to cut off. On this one, I haven't marked it because, well, I just haven't. But this one I was able to grab with the chuck, the 4-jaw chuck, and just grab that, and I put my own tenon on it to fit in here, so that I'll be able to put that into the chuck and just cut it off where I want it. This is heavy duty, and so you can crush on that if you want. Of course, it cuts very easily. It's not that much stress and strain. And in a pinch, if you're careful, you can actually expand on that. I wouldn't want to do that because you're cutting off on your chuck. But this kind, some places you can. Okay, so I'll get rid of some of that. That's just kind of an overview of the threaded PVC out there. You can buy brass rings and things. They're beautiful. They're a little expensive, but they're nice. And obviously, with there are tools to put the threads directly onto the wood, and that's a little bit tricky and artistic in its own. I'm not attempting that this time. Maybe some other time. But anyway, in here I say. My PVC cleanouts and other female threaded items, the concept of a box. You like drawing? Is that glary, or can you see that all right? Okay, this is my concept that I started, and I ended up building the lidded box. I started, this has a little bit of the threaded inserts on that drawing, and the top is just basically a chunk, and of course this one ended up being this pointy thing. This is just about full, I think full dimension drawing, more or less. sometimes we can start on things, it would just end up with something, and sometimes I want it to, what shape do I want? So that's why I have the drawings. Okay, so I have a concept. This is going to be pretty plain to for the demonstration. I'll be able to hollow it and put some shaping to it later. I won't take the time to do that. I have put a parting tool in here part way just to tell you that I'm going to turn this thing around, and since the grain is so plain, and of course we embellish things or paint things or color things, the grain is not going to be that very necessary. This would not turn into I don't think a beautiful grained item without some help. So that's all. Okay, it says prepare your jam chuck for a male thread. The male thread is going to go, it's then going to end up going on here because it's going to turn around and thread down into the body. I have it's here. Basically a jam chuck is way too big.
Hey, Ron,
Yes.
is there a preference for whether the female thread is in the vessel or in the lid? I think you take a commercial things, the vessel has the male thread, the cap has the female.
I guess with a large one, like you say, I could basically end up with male thread, the female this way, or since it's quite large, end up. So you want the male on the bottom. Well, obviously it would be this size, and you could do it either way. Adding the male onto basically onto what's going to be in essence a jam chuck on the lid is simple enough. I mean, yeah, it could be done either way, but hadn't thought about doing it the other way. But if I get confused sometimes, it might work out that way.
Yeah, it just happened.
Okay. I don't think I'd have much danger of getting hit by bad stuff, but with putting the hood on and all that, it is nice and it helps keep things from going down. You have a frock here. Okay. I could probably eyeball that, but I'll use a feeler gauge to basically get close. I'll usually put it in there, and always add just a fuzz. I can always make it smaller. It's hard to make them bigger without tape and stuff like that. So, I don't know if the angle is very well, but it looks like I need to take off, well, 3/8 to a ½ inch. So, here we go. I don't know if you can see that, but I've knocked off some of the little points on there in case my hand gets too close. It won't tend to tear me up too bad. I've not done this. Forward. Okay. So I just turn it. He's wobbly. Well, that goes down. It's getting close. I want a little bit deeper on that. There we go. Nothing to it. Sorry it took so long just to do the jam chuck, but if I had one made up, I didn't, so I don't. Oh, shoot. put this on and then go to where it's oh sure. Mhm. Get out your tough fingers here. All right, I have a Carter, commercial time, got a Carter parting tool. These things are, I really like this one. Oh, I didn't have my hood on. I'm gonna put my hood on for this one because this plastic is not much fun.
Can I sneak in just real quick? I just want to zoom in a little bit on this upper camera.
What's that?
I'll cut this out of
Oh, okay.
the demo. Hang on just a minute. I want to zoom in on you. Oops, wrong end.
There you go. Don't have much thread on that.
Don't tell my wife I got on the ladder.
Well, these have a little bit of extra starter out here. If you don't want that, you can turn that around, put it back on, and trim that off. Since it's going to be inside, you won't see it anyway, so I'll just leave it. If you want it to be a little fancier, you can do it a little bit cleaner that way. Okay, so I have the
Be sure you can see it in.
Yeah, you're perfect.
oh, okay. Yeah, I've got the male thread now, and now what I'm going to do is put this in, take that out, and get this to fit on my lid. What I often do with a jam chuck or things that I've mounted, I'll find the number 1 jaw, mark the edges. So that if I need to go back to it, I can, it should crimp it at the same spot. Oh, I guess I've never had that thing. I've not had this one ever chucked up. No, I'm not happy with where that's tried to center up. I don't know if sometimes if that very corner down on your tenon, if I leave a little bit of goop in there, or if it's just not quite trimmed out, then sometimes you have to recenter it out here, and hopefully it'll be strong. I'm not taking much out. I'm not. It's not real large, so it should be good. I'll just leave it that way. Yeah. Okay, I'm going down.
On a different lathe.
What's that?
It's on a different lathe. It's on a different lathe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's true too. Okay.
of times when I get down that close, I'll use some 100 grit sandpaper and just kind of sand it just a little bit
Yeah.
to tweak it.
Well, with this, it doesn't have to be horribly tight because I'm going to put a little epoxy on there anyway, so you want some room for some glue. Just there. Okay, that'll probably fit. But I want enough room for a little glue on there. Epoxy. Take out a couple thousandths or so. There we go. That's that'll pick up gonna put some epoxy on this very face so that it faces right up onto the lid.
Ron,
Sir.
do you do anything differently if you were mentioning brass instead of the PVC? Anything different you do for inserting or securing?
I don't know if they come a little bit knurled on the back side so that when you glue them in, they'll, you know, like with when we do the pins, you have to kind of sand the brass. I think they might already be prepared. And that reminded me that
What do you glue that PVC in there with?
what's that?
What do you glue that PVC in that wood with?
What glue do you use to attach it?
It's over here.
Oh. Using some JB clear weld, quick side, you know, part A, part B. You want to mix that up for me?
I can. You want all of it mixed up or?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'm here ready. It says, I need to do the jam chuck for the female part. For female friends. Okay, this for the female threads, it could be put on a jam chuck. This is probably large enough that I can grab it either on the inside or the outside. I'm just going to grab it on the outside, and it should be small enough and accurate enough that it'll cut off and give me what I want. Get this two stuck. So basically I'm going to go over.
Move it down in front of your tool rest, right there.
What?
If you put it right there, we can see it on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this part is the threads, and it is going to go into the body, the hollow form, and you can see it's got some knobs on there, so I need to clean those off, and I'll clean those off, and then obviously cut the whole thing into the threaded ring. Some people try to tell you that if it's hard wood, all you need to do is one side of these things. I always do both. I don't know if there's just enough play in these Ford chucks that one side seems like it's always just kind of like doing your tires on cars, your wheels need to go around and around. Oh, that's different. Okay. I don't know if you can see that with all this stuff, it feels like this thing is just not quite running true, but usually by the time you get one side of them cleaned off, the other side's cleaned off too.
I didn't mix up a whole bunch, but you know, that's gonna set up pretty quick.
Okay, thank you. Now, the plastic wears it's about as wearing on a sharp edge as anything. So, anyway, I'm going to take this front edge of stuff off a little bit just because it's not very pretty, and that's going to show in the hollow form. Wouldn't have to, because oftentimes when you thread things together, you don't have it open very much. But I'm going to trim that off a little bit, and well, actually, I think I'll use this other this way.
Does anyone know if PVC can be stained or colored?
Yes, you
Can it?
can. Yeah, if you use acetone based color, see some of the solvents that they rub it together with are purple.
Okay.
I think if you use acetone,
Lay things down and then can't find it. Looks like I could take a little over 1/16 of an inch off of this end. Put a couple of small reliefs in here for glue for the epoxy to help hold that PVC. PVC obviously is very, very slick. Things don't stick to PVC real well. Okay. Now I'm going to cut off I think you can see that edge. I'm going to cut that off there. If I need to depress that into the hollow form a little deep, it won't hurt. I won't use all the threads clear to the bottom anyway. On the I think on the brass rings or things that you buy, I think there's other threaded things that you could use instead. I've looked for them and can't find them. It seems like there's some plumbing things more on your toilet and things that have a rubber gasket, and so they're actual threads, not pipe threads. So there are probably some easier things to use, but this is convenient, fairly cheap, easy. So this is going to be probably about a ½ inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch thick, even though depth of threads, whereas the male component probably only is going to use maybe a 1/4 inch is all. These are fun because if they get away from you, they just spin and they go. I'll try to catch it here, but it may go away. I'm glad it was plastic and not steel. That would have been a little bit hard on the hard on the skin. There's usually one thread that hangs up. have to clean that off a little. I think my instructions might say that you would put this on, and then put this on with it. Oh, that's tricky, which way to go, this way. Yeah, I was doing it backwards. Okay. I'm going to mark the glued faces so I don't get confused. Okay. Once again, my hands don't work. Okay. Now this, I'm going to glue that on if my glue hasn't set up. I'll put it on, put this back in, and I'm going to cut the little bit of excess off here just to make it prettier. Wouldn't necessarily have to be done, but when I get, since this is so small, I'm hoping I can grab this and in the lid, at least temporarily put want to put a mortise in it so that I can hold it. I could add anything large enough. Say for a, well, that's going to be on the outside, but if you had a block on it and hold the block or turn it down and use it as a knob. So there's any number of things you can get around. This is where I get in trouble oftentimes. I'll get someplace and then I can't grab it. So. I'm curious if I can. This thing's awfully small. I don't think that'll ever do it. Let me get that small. Okay, now. Okay. Yeah. Too late.
Too late.
Oops.
I only had that snug.
Is that how we're getting out of there, Freddie?
It's got a paper deal under the lid.
And you left it there?
I put it back. I just swapped it around, it'll be all right.
Swap them around. Put the hardware on. Definitely not. I should hope you have a whole lot of follow boxes.
This thing's. Sure. I don't want to get confused. Too bad. This wasn't radio, so it's okay to have a little bit of, what's that, dead air time? Sorry about that. I get frightened sometimes. There's the top, it's kind of ready to go.
When you use a Forstner bit, do you ever first put in a pilot hole with a regular bit?
No. I usually start whatever biggest piece of Forstner I'm going to use. I want to go in maybe an 1/8 inch. If it's really hard wood, go in just a little while, just like an 1/8 inch deep, and then pilot drill it with smaller things. That way the large bit will line right up and just keep right on a boring. Otherwise it may wobble around to get started.
Thanks for the tip.
Sir?
It's not only may, it will while we're around.
Oh, yeah, thank you for, for the correction, it will.
I ain't no maybe about it. Been there and done that, Ron.
I was gonna say, ask him how he knows.
Have apologized.
How did you know?
Okay. I chose a bit, basically, that's about the size of the inside. If it's a little smaller, that'd be good. And then I went in a ways, plenty for our little insert. So I'll enlarge that so for the insert to fit. But I'm just gonna go in basically the thickness of my, the thickness of the ring. Yeah. Which is mark it about there.
Do you do it so there are a certain number of threads that catch?
Well, using the pipe thread, you can't use very many. I mean, you can, but one time tighten down and it's over. I mean,
Oh, okay.
it,
Okay.
okay.
That explains That explains something.
I don't know, I could probably ask you, if you're gonna use, cut out end grain like I'm gonna do, I usually just use a parting tool, because it's pretty sharp and it's small. But I didn't know if there's any other scraping type tool you guys would use. I know that if you're going quite a bit, you can obviously use a bowl gouge.
Part two or part two probably.
I actually like to
Or
use,
you can use cubes.
I like to use hard like
Yeah, I guess a straight one of those work. For the demonstration, I'm just gonna get the thread to mount, and I'll be able to hollow it out later. I won't glue that in now. I'll keep it out of the way so that I don't mangle that up if I touch it with a tool. Oh. The reset a caliper.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Look at that.
Too big, too fast, sorry.
Just put a little extra glue.
Yes, sir. Oh, got an idea.
Make it a little deeper. Okay.
Supposed to be done, I got 2 minutes. What? Well, I thought I made plenty of them.
They said, don't do this. And they put some over there. You over there, hands up. You over there, hands down. You face this way. And good thing. Good thing. The Lord is doing all the best to us. One stand on the other. And together. Fill it with people. Fill it with people. Just back like this. And then you got to load. Back load. But it wouldn't. It's actually down. Charge so much. Well, we wrote
Okay. If you're concerned about your grain matching up, you'd wait for this to set just a little bit, screw it together, and then get it to where, and I'm going to say this grain matches here. You'd put that together and then be able to spin it. This is still a little loose on here. This one shouldn't be. And I'm going to see if I can do that now without bad things happening. Okay, bad things are happening because it's not. Yeah. So I won't do that.
It won't do that.
I just stick it in there and leave it. But I think you kind of understand that if the threads work well together, you'll be able to put that together, get that all pushed down. You might back off just a little bit. That will pull this bottom one out just slightly so that when you go back in, it's all glued. You'll be able to get tight to it. It's going to fall. I guess that's for the most part it. Like I say, I can hollow out this part and then worry about make my top, the shape of my top. That's it.
I think you did a great job.
Thanks, Ron.